We start today with the latest developments on the talks between North Korea and the United States. After months of silence, the two sides finally held high-level talks on Friday in Washington. We also heard that the North Korean envoy was able to meet with President Donald Trump, and they seem to have made some progress concerning the upcoming North Korea-U.S. summit. For more, let's go straight to our Park Hee-jun, who is on the line for us from Seoul's Foreign Ministry. Hee-jun, tell us more.
Jiwon, we are seeing some progress with the Kim-Trump summit. The White House has announced that the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump will meet, quote, near the end of February. The exact location is to be announced on a later date. The announcement came after a 90-minute meeting between the North's top envoy Kim Yong-chol and President Trump at the White House. Kim is said to have delivered to Trump a letter from Kim Jong-un. And before that, Kim Yong-chol met Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the U.S. State Department Special Representative for North Korea Affairs, Stephen Biegun. They discussed efforts to make progress on the promises made during the Kim-Trump summit in Singapore, and according to the State Department, the talks were, quote, productive. These were the first set of discussions held by the two sides since the postponement of high-level talks originally scheduled for November, and it breaks the months-long stalemate in the denuclearization talks.
So we have the estimated date for the summit, but Hee-jun, when will the two tune out the remaining details?
So the high-level talks were held in Washington, and next is the working-level talks. The meeting between North Korea's Vice Foreign Minister Choi Sun-hee and Stephen Biegun is expected to be held as early as today in Stockholm. With Pyongyang and Washington having made the summit official and agreeing on a rough date, the logistics for the meeting is likely to be sorted out by Choi and Biegun, which would be the first meeting between the pair since Biegun took his position last August. And according to Seoul's foreign ministry, South Korea's nuclear envoy Lee Do-hoon has left for Sweden. He will attend an international conference where Choi and Biegun are also set to attend. So there are high speculations that two-way or three-way discussions could get underway in Stockholm. And if all goes well, more announcements may be on the way.
It really looks like the second North Korea-U.S. summit is taking shape. And Hee-jun, this comes after months of seemingly stalled denuclearization negotiations between the two. So could you give us a recap of what the disagreement was on and what could come out of the talks ahead?
Well, you're right. Little progress has been made since their first face-to-face in June. So more weight is being put on this next summit. The U.S. has been demanding an account of North Korea's nuclear and missile programs, while North Korea has been calling for the lifting of economic sanctions and the provision of security guarantees. What's notable is that after Kim Yong-chol's visit to the White House, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said, quote, the United States is going to continue to keep pressure and sanctions on North Korea. So it's possible that the two sides were unable to find a common ground on that issue. Then again, Washington appears to have taken a step back from its original stance for a step-by-step approach to denuclearization. What experts see as a possible scenario is North Korea offering to destroy its Yongbyon nuclear complex, as Kim said in the Pyongyang Declaration, for which the U.S. will waive sanctions for the resumption of the Kaesong Industrial Complex and Mount Kumgangsan tours. These two inter-Korean projects are of great interest to the North. The main agenda could also involve North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missiles. Pompeo recently said the focus is on the security of American citizens, which raised questions over whether the U.S. wants the removal of the ballistic missiles to come first. South Korean President Moon Jae-in also mentioned the importance of dismantling North Korea's ICBM arsenal in his New Year's press conference. But that remains to be the core question. Now, both sides want the summit to happen, and considering that the previous Singapore summit was nothing short of a roller coaster ride, we can't exactly say for sure what will happen next. But the two leaders have exchanged multiple letters already this year, and layers of negotiations are swiftly taking place, so things aren't looking too bad as of yet. Back to you, Jiwon.
All right, thank you for that report, Hee-jun.